Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It's time to learn. It's time to learn. It's time to learn. Oh my God. It's going to be a wonderful time here today because we're going to be learning. Yeah, and the theme is how to meet your spouse. How to meet your spouse. That's what's up today. And trust me, there's so much to delve in. So, wherever you're signing up from, yeah, you can put your location right there. So just tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you're watching from. Where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? We're waiting for our guests to show up. Yeah, so tell us where you're watching from as we dive right in. I am Joseph Akombiola, popularly known as Uncle Joe, and I'm going to be your host for today. Yeah, waiting for the guests to show up, waiting for our guests to show up. How to meet your husband. By the way, how many of you are planning to get married in the year 2023? If you want to get married in the year 2023 and you're single, let me see you thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, let me see you like, let me see you show some love if you're aspiring to get married in 2023 or 2024. Well, depending on your plan and your vision. All right, it's going to be a wonderful ride. A few more minutes, we have our guests in, then we jump right into the heart of the matter because we do not really have so much time here. We don't have so much time here. Okay, guests, where you at? Guests, where you at? Guests, where you at? Guests, and really, if you have questions to ask, you can start noting your questions. Yeah, because our guest is going to be dealing with your question. Interestingly, our guest is on a 14-day how do I put it now? 14-day roadmap, yeah, in helping single ladies meet their husband. Okay, so there is a plan for a 14-day adventure into meeting your desired spouse. Okay, and I think this is very important because what I stand for, what Uncle Joe stands for, is an ideal family. All right, I stand for good family, good society, and I believe the bedrock to every good society is a good marriage. It all starts from marriage. And to break it down further, it starts from who we are individually. So if you're a good person, of course, I had a program today and I was telling the teenagers, okay, to be a good man, you need to be a good boy. So from a good boy, we have good men. From a good man, we have good families, okay? If you have that in the other side, in the part of the woman, then when you have a good family, inevitably, I think we're going to have a good society. Yeah, we have a good society, inevitably, a good society. And we have a better word if that formula is maintained. So sometimes we neglect the individual level. We don't see that will become better, a better version of ourselves. Then that as a way of affecting the family. Then from there we have a good society. So the bulk of the work is we becoming good persons, good individuals. Then other part of the society is going to be taken care of. All right, so strive to be a good man. Strive to be a good man. Strive to be a good man. Yeah, we're still waiting for our guests to show up. Still waiting for our guests to show up. I guess okay. Sorry, few more minutes to go. Few more minutes to go. So like I was saying, the plan is just getting to be the best version of ourselves. Okay, our guest is around. Yeah, getting to the best version of ourselves. Okay, good. So when we strive to become best version of ourselves, we inevitably have a good family. All right. So a good family doesn't just spring up from nowhere. You don't have a good family if you're not intentional about being a good person. It's all about that. Then it's all a snowball. So we have right here our guests already. Okay, it's a pleasure seeing you one more time. Wow, this is awesome. All right, so before you join in, I've been praying their heart, trying to tell them about who's coming on board and about the fact that what you do is not a one-time thing. It's something you find pleasure doing. I've gone through some of your work, some of your pages, and I've seen consistency. Okay, I've seen you build consistency, and that's a very good thing. So you're welcome. We believe you're going to be a blessing to us today.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
Okay. We just unfortunately we couldn't start exactly 3, but well, we are not so far away from when we're supposed to start. So you're welcome on board.
thank you.
Okay, I think we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you are loaded and ready for us already. Okay, so like I said the other time, the program, I mean, what we are on to right now is um, a rare discussion. It's a very bold topic, all right? How to meet your spouse, how to meet your husband, particularly. Somebody was asking me, why can't we talk to the guys and how to meet their wives? I said, no, no problem. I think we have a lot of that already. Yeah, I think we tend to have a lot of that. Steps to meeting your wife. I think I've seen quite a number of grooming tips, okay, to attract her.
Mm-hmm.
But this time around, you're looking at attracting him, you're looking at meeting him per se.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something novel, it's something new, and it's worth the try. So let me just allow you, leave 1 or 2 words of introduction so we can really know what we are in for this afternoon. So over to you, please.
Okay, so I believe that you would, because I came prepared for a Q&A style
Oh, yes,
for
yes.
session, so we can do that. However, to start out with the how to meet your desired husband, which is the topic, is I believe I've been saying this. I know that this is a calling. For those who don't know me, this I've been working with women for close to 10 years now. Of course, the meet
Wow.
your husband, you may have met me through the meet your husband route or meet your husband path, but I've been working with women on the with to help them build their individuality, their purpose, their identity, and step into their leadership long before I even stepped into helping women meet their husband. And I still do that. I still do that via Wondiva Global Community, the ministry and the foundation arm for women. So that is important to establish, because when I'm coming to tell women to meet their husband and I'm teaching and sharing some things, it is out of course, revelation, because that's where my strategies come from God. It's from revelation. It's also from experience of working with women. So it's not just I say that because I know a lot of people are getting cynical, because many people are coming online to say they know how to get you this and get you that, and they're not really getting it for people. So people are getting cynical. But there's experience, there's revelation, then there's statistics to back it out, research statistics to help us see the numbers of what is going on. So, how to meet your desired husband? If I have to give some intro before you can then now ask me specific question. Got quite a lot of resources about it. Looking for which angle do I bring it for now? But as I was preparing some resource today, one thing that I wanted to really draw out for this meeting is the fact that a lot of times some women in this century are thinking that it is only women that are desirous of getting married. That one is even a problem already. So women think, oh, is it me? Every time it's me that want to meet my husband. It's me that want to get married. It's women that they are seeing clapping in church and carry me, they go, my husband, that all those things that make us laugh. But
Right.
what I did, the myth is no, it's not only women, it is women's own that is obvious. It's not that it's only women, it's women's own that is obvious, it's women's own that is out there. Just the way you have when it comes to therapy, typically up until you started balancing out a bit, it used to be like women, any small thing, women have gone, they're the first to embrace a new concept. There are a lot of men that also want to meet their wives and want to meet their right fit wives. I share this
Mm.
example one of because I show videos like literally as it comes very naturally to me. And one of the videos I shared where no, it wasn't a video, no, it was I wrote it. It was a text, it was a written content. I shared how a guy wanted to date a girl. This one I know this, so it's not like oh they told me, they narrated it. A guy wanted to date a girl and he started the parts of the conversation. And it got to the part where the girl was all over her Instagram showing all form of nude pictures. Well, not nude pictures, but like it just was she was just showing her cleavage and all those. So the guy started to talk with her that, oh, could you tell me a bit about this? What is going on here? Why do you think it is okay to snap like this? Especially if is this what you want to do when you get married? Just this conversation. The girl was like, oh, don't ever the girl was like, don't ever try this in your life, don't talk to me about this, and so on and so forth. And my question at the end of that conversation that I put out is, so do you think there's any man that wants to get married, I mean serious marriage, and will want his wife to be parading herself all around with pants and bra on Instagram? The answer is no. The answer, if you see people doing it, they are not in that marriage for the original intent of God, for the purpose of marriage. They are there for, many people get into marriage for contractual reasons, they get into marriage for
Right.
status reasons, they get
Right.
into marriage for maybe money, it could even be finance. If we bring our money, if we come together, our finance will be together, we'll build transgenerational wealth. You see all this in the
Business.
Hollywood industry. So when people say these people are together, it's not surprise. I don't know why people are surprised. Just that I don't want to start calling names here because it will look like, oh, yeah. So it doesn't look as since I'm not living with them. But a lot of these people, they are not. It's not like oh, it's because of love. And you see, oh, XYZ. There's one time a popular musician's husband cheated on her. All the black women were like, oh my God, oh my God. I mean, many black women would have run out of their marriage. This lady still
Right.
stayed. It's because they all have their own different intention for marriage. So I brought that out to say that you can't, a sane woman or even a sane man, you can't want to get into marriage and still want to be sharing the genital, the exposing your body to other parts of the world. It's just not sane. That's not how it works. So this guy went on to move on to someone else, and now he's dating someone else. But before then, this guy also came to me. He came to me for matchmaking, and I've got people like him as well. I've got people like him that come to me that, oh, please, could you introduce me to someone? I'm trying to get a wife.
I'm
So
sorry.
the only thing is they're
Do
not
you do that?
dancing.
I'm sorry. Do you do that on a very open scale? I never knew that.
Yes, I do
Wow.
that.
Okay.
One of the reasons I don't announce it as much. I will try to start announcing it as much. I don't announce it as much now because I still want to work. There's still a category. There's still like a phase I want to finish up way up before I do that. But I do this a lot on the back scale. Like if you come to me, I won't reject you as long as I've seen
Mm.
steps that you are ready.
Right.
But in my next phase, I'm also going to start making that open. So even men, so when I say meet
Mm.
up, many people have told me that, and so what of meet your wife? Things like, and they're serious, they're not joking.
Yes.
So there's that. So a lot of people come us, but the only thing is they don't they don't like dance or all these things that we do that makes it so obvious that oh, women are working, women are doing the best, women are developing themselves. It doesn't mean that these men are not doing that. So that is one myth that we should debunk. And You should always know, if it's a woman of faith, you should understand that you have 7,000. And I was saying 7,000 is the analogy in the Bible, the analogy of the Bible of the undefiled prophets. You need to feel free. For anybody that doesn't know that, you can go and Google and read up on it. But before you say all the men in town are gone, all the men in town are using, all those generalizations, you have to understand that it's not possible. There are always going to be 7,000. The question is, you yourself, are you preparing yourself in alignment with them? And all of these men, God keeps them hidden for a purpose, because we need to understand as women that God has sons that he wants to build the kingdom. It's not everybody that is dancing on Instagram, or everybody. That's not the indication that that's God's. Some people are not even on social media. I know people's husbands. One of my mentor's husband, she's not on social. He rather, he's not on social media. So sometimes people, the ladies are looking too much to people's status. People, what if the person is not even as active? Would you not say that that is a disqualifier? So those are some of the things that I started to speak about to help women expand. Another thing I want to touch on is the problem of
I think
concentrating on. Okay, you've
sorry.
got a question? Okay,
Before you
okay,
go on, thank you so much
okay,
for that. So we don't in fact you said a lot. There's a question I wanted to ask which you
okay.
addressed already.
Please go
And I
ahead.
think there's a need to emphasize that. And
Mm,
that's the fact that people there's a limited worldview. You just mentioned now that we think the whole world is on
mm,
IG. The whole
mm,
world is on, right? The whole world. Now you're looking for men and you tend not to find what you're looking for on social media. So
mm.
that shouldn't determine, or that shouldn't, you shouldn't conclude on the fact that because you couldn't find on social media, then there is none. Okay, I think this is
Yes.
a point we need to emphasize. So if there's anybody watching, or anybody's going to watch after now, as a lady, please try to understand that social media should not be a defining point. All right, it shouldn't be a defining point. Your underlying point for determining, because I heard this a lot. People say we don't have men again. Men are scarce. I don't know, women are scarce, things like that. So it's a very big myth. It's a very big lie. We need to fight, all out. We need to go all out against. All right. Can you make one or two more remarks on this particular myth? Okay. Should I call it a myth now, or a fallacy anyway? Okay, that there are scarce resources out there. There are scarce men, scarce women out there.
So one of the things that yes, and I'm glad the same thing can be applied to the men. If you think that they are scarce women, that is absolutely not true. You are the one probably not looking rightly. And so what I say to women on the journey to meeting their husband, I help you. You have to understand that when you are trying to work on your finance, the one that I use
Okay.
finance a lot because everybody can relate. When you're trying to work on your finance, you don't say, in this country things are hard, so therefore I'm just going to sit on the hardship level. You start
Right.
saying things like, oh, how do I earn in dollars? Or you start going around booking coaches. How do I market better? How do I make more money? That's why marketing, finance experts will still be one of the industries that will continue to boom, because people always want to know how they can make more money despite the hardship. But it doesn't, there can be recession. They'll say, okay, how can we do that? You even be hearing people following stories that, companies came up in recession. Yes, there are a lot of the big companies that we have now that it was in recession that they rose. A lot of people are inspired by such stories and they are happy. But when it
Right.
just comes to a husband, I don't know why it just looks like you cannot. Why is it different? It is different because you are choosing to sell that narrative to yourself. You are the one choosing to
Right.
sell the narrative to yourself. I posted something today that if Ruth and Ruth in the Bible can get married twice, and there are women in this century that are getting married 2 to 3 times, why do you think that
Right.
you cannot get married once,
One.
even once in this lifetime?
That's powerful.
There are people, I
That's
mean, so they're wondering, how do you do it? Let's not forget, no, people talk about Ruth, but even forget that that was her second husband, to show us the power that it's not by age. That was another thing. I know a lot of people are fearful about age. It's not about, oh, age, I'm not attractive. You can still attract the right man as long as you if you don't know how, you're a bit confused. That's why I've got this God. That's why God called me for you. So I can help
right.
to guide you, because there's nothing, it doesn't need to be that complicated. And you have to understand that the way you always push for your finance and believe better, you have to take that belief to the space of your marriage. Why a lot of people are with that limited beliefs? Because every time they sit down with all these blogs in the morning, that's what they used to have. They used to have their baths, their soul
Mm.
bath. That's what they used to have
Information.
their baths. The person that
Right.
divorced in the
Mm.
last week, or the one that did not divorce next week, all those kind of, those are the things people are watching in, and they say, hey, oh my God, oh God, hey God, help us. But they don't know that it's sinking in, sinking in, sinking in. A great man who is a Nigerian pastor was saying recently about the power and importance of repetition. What you continue
Right.
to repeat to yourself will become your reality, even if you
Mm.
don't like it. So the question is, what are you repeating to yourself? What is the truth that you're repeating to yourself? Some people, and I say this, whether you have a schedule or you don't have a schedule, how that there's a way I say it, whether you plan or you don't have plan, life will plan for you. I don't think
Yeah.
that's how I say it exactly, but that's what I mean to say. So sometimes
Mm.
people just be like, oh, let me just leave it. And when you leave it, it's whatever it is life has that it will present to you. So when you are
Yeah.
not occupying that space actively, repeating and insisting on the things that you know you deserve, then is what life has to offer you that you are going to see. That is why nowadays, even in the workplace, some HR people have started to talk about, you receive, in terms of pay, you receive what you negotiate, not what you deserve. What you can and it's
Wow.
true. I've seen this work over and over again for me. What can you negotiate? You receive what you can negotiate. Yes, there are times where at this very certain point it just looks like, oh, this is what I can find. But trust me, everybody at this certain point in time can always negotiate. It will not even be money. It can be, okay, if this is what you have, maybe can I
Right.
work this amount of hours? Life really a lot of the part of how the dynamics of how life works also works with negotiation. So, but I
Mm.
brought that in to say that it is important that you are not receiving that lie. And how can you receive the truth? It's simple. Surround yourself with truthful stories. One of the reasons why we did episode 1 of how I met my husband is because we wanted to bring truthful, real stories of living people in the 21st century with working marriages. People
Mm.
just think that, oh, marriage is so, what do we have in it? What's still remaining for us? But there are people with working marriage, so I had to go and fetch them out. Those that married for the second time, those that married into a blended family, those that married a widow, everybody. I gathered all the women. But the question is, so how many people are taking our time to watch such content? That's a good question. No, you don't want to watch the content. You want to watch how the comedian in Nigeria, after 10 years of marriage, divorced his wife. You will see that that's
Mm.
where people will quickly run to. So that one is on you. It's on you. Whatever it is that your heart is now producing, you are
Right.
fearful, you are afraid, you think that good men may not be around you. It becomes on you because you are not choosing to paint a reality that you deserve. And when you start painting that reality that you deserve by the things you, of course, it's the things you take in, the things you watch, the things you listen to, you will see that ideas for how to
Mm.
navigate towards where you're headed will start to spring. That's just how
Right.
life works. When you face somewhere, when you say, okay, I want to, maybe you say, I want to buy a car now, but I don't have money. You see that if you continue to wake up every day and say, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a car, I just will start dripping. Oh, maybe I should talk to Uncle Sheung. What if he will give me a loan? Let me talk to Auntie Farida. She's traveling out. Will she sell a car for me at a lower? You see that ideas will start coming around that objective that you have in your mind. So, but if you don't put any objective in mind, all you carry is fear, well, you're not going to get any ideas. It will all be fear, fear, fear. And of course, out of the abundance of the heart, then you start saying things like men are scarce or women are scarce.
Wow, this is loaded because the truth is, what you just shared is I think is a fundamental principle to life. I was just trying to remember this law of attraction. I know it's something popular, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
what we are discussing is not just limited to marriage. From what you shared so far, it is just a basic principle to life, and that's the truth. People hardly go for good content. It is now. It's not, I'm not sure it's about because when you're saying it, I was thinking, well, are we sure we are really putting ourselves out there? And that's one of the reasons why we had to do this. Okay, maybe my audience comes together. In fact, there was a program I posted, and somebody was like, "Wow, this person is my mentor." I was like, "Do you know her?" Say, "Yeah." So we of course we try to put ourselves out there, but the truth is naturally,
Mm,
I think humanity navigates towards that which is bad
mm,
naturally. We love to hold lies, we love to, so it takes being intentional, all right, to to feed our mind with good and positive content. So perhaps you're watching out there and you really seeing yourself in this picture. It is something you need to be intentional about, be very intentional about. All right, just look at the scenario she painted now. You want to buy a car
mm,
and you are not feeding yourself with such mental image. It's all about mental pictures,
mhm.
and it's a battlefield of the
Yeah.
mind. Okay, so like we've said so far, there is enough, we have enough men, we have enough women, enough. In fact, if you are supposed to marry 10 times in your lifetime, maybe I'm permitted to say that, you will, yeah, you keep finding a good man, all right, all the way. You keep finding a good woman. That's my belief system. That's my belief, all right. So, and it's all start with you as an individual. And let me quickly ask this question.
Mm,
It's a very popular question we have singles out there asking,
mm.
particularly in the Christian climb, and that's the fact that do we really have one man for a lady? Okay, as a lady, am I supposed to be fixated in marrying just one person? I don't know if that's a familiar question you've come across in your journey.
Okay, well, so we may not necessarily have one person for us, but I believe in what I call right fits spirit design. So we
All
may
right.
not necessarily have one person for us, but we have the right fit people that fits into the puzzle of our destiny, what I want to call the puzzle of our destiny. So these are
Okay.
people that can complement and we can complement the work that they do. And of course,
Okay.
align with our values, all those other ones, the foundations of value system and all those ones is already sorted. I'm assuming that one is sorted. But they align with what we can do and they can carry the assignment. This is important to not just think that, oh, everybody in the world cannot fit into marrying you, and it's not a situation of nobody at all, because some people now go extreme. It's either it's everybody or nobody. No, you have a lot of people that can also fit into it as well. However, that's where, of course, the education comes in, of finding out what is your own purpose first, because it's when you understand and know your own purpose that you can know, okay, this is what this person does, we can work together, this is how this person is doing it, we can align together. And I believe that that is one of the things that is holding people down from not even navigate, especially in this 21st century, navigating who they know should be the right person for them. Because purpose is not just about, oh, I'm in one career. It's about understanding the place of your assignment here on earth, and
Okay.
even working with God to get the picture of how that some of it is going to work out. You may not see the full picture, but how some of it is going to work out. And there's a kind of person
Okay.
that you need to marry and you need to be able to bring that to fruition. And those are the kinds that that God has planted in our lives at different spaces for us to get married to. So we have the kinds, yes, we have the kinds, and well, blessed are those who are able to meet their kindness of the kinds. I just decoded something, but the point of what I'm saying is those who are able to meet their right fits according to how God designed, but it not necessarily will be one person, of course. But when people meet that one person, it just looks like that's the only person that they can deal with just because of how used to they've gotten to that person. It's almost nearly difficult to say it cannot be more than one person. I'm telling you, because when God gives you one of the right fits that's supposed to fit with your own marriage, it is truly a blessing, and you hardly want to leave that space. But you can have more than, because we see in the Bible people times where people got married more than once. We see Abraham, we see Ruth in the Bible, for instance. So it is possible.
Okay. Thank you so much. But in the end, I think that sounds more like I want to really clarify. Are we saying, because I'm not sure that's what you're tending to,
Mm.
um, you can marry more than one person, so we can clarify this very early. Are we talking about marrying more than one person, or having the possibility of marrying more for example, if a party, the other party is no more, or maybe due to a reason or the other,
Mm.
and the person has to remarry, that's a different context. Okay, are we talking polygamy here or talking
Oh,
about
me,
marrying
I'm
another
talking
person?
about in the case of remarriage. Oh, that's what I'm talking about now. Yes, in the
Exactly. Because
case of
I
remarriage,
just
if the
clarify
person needs to. Some people
needs
don't
to.
think that they need to. Mm.
Okay, that's cool. So I really want us to go into the deep of the matter, and that's the theme: how to get your desired spouse. Okay, as a lady, as a young lady watching this broadcast now, and you've been thinking of positioning. There's a major story in the Bible which this whole story is hinged on. In fact, when I was trying to write a what's it called now, proposition for the post, trying to just sell it out, I actually make reference to the same story, and that's the story of Ruth. Can we just talk a bit around the story? Let's see how that story applies to what we are discussing currently, the root story. Of course, everybody, of course, I believe you read your Bible, you know the root story. If you don't know where it is, just open your Bible and later after now, get to the book of Ruth, and you're going to read. It's so short that you can easily comprehend that. So, but let's just do a deep exposition around it and how this thing, got to, has gotten to relate with that story.
So for it, the root story is an interesting story because it doesn't only teach about marriage, although marriage is the most popular that people have coiled out of the story of that chapter. It teaches about loyalty, it teaches about perseverance. So there are a whole lot of other things that it teaches in the book of Ruth, and that is important because that shows us that those are the things that solidify a person to be a great marriage partner. It's not about just wanting to get married. It's about some people can't even keep commitment to themselves and they want to get married. They can't even keep commitment to themselves. They can't say a thing and mean a thing and do what they say for themselves. So this is not someone else. It's themselves. They can't even keep commitment to themselves. So we see how Ruth goes further to do more than that. I mean, there was nothing in it for Ruth when she was following Naomi. So that teaches us selflessness for doing Bible study. When Ruth was following Naomi, there was nothing in it for her. She wasn't necessarily looking for a husband. She believed she had found purpose and she decided that she was going to explore despite how uncomfortable that may have been. I know it's the fourth chapter book, we just read through it and no, boys, it's there. When if you put yourself into the story, you understand that she could have done what Oprah did. She could have gone back. It could have been more convenient, but she decided to step outside of her comfort zone and obey and just follow through with purpose and serve and be selfless. The question is, because you have to do a bit of expository on it. The question is, how many people now, whether men or women, are ready to be selfless beyond what is in it for them? There are not so many people right now that even care to do it. For different reasons, they'll say things like they've been hurt, people are wicked, people don't care. We can go on and on making excuses, or you can make a way. It depends on you. So not many, even to volunteer self nowadays, for some people, not say, oh, thank God has still blessed me. I still have blessed volunteers around me. But I understand that nowadays some people are just always looking for what's in it for me rather than what can I give to someone. So that already shows us that if you don't even have that disposition, you probably will not enjoy your marriage because it's not just all about what is in it
Mm,
for you. That is
exactly.
that
Exactly.
about that. Then fast forward to the story about Ruth. When I prepared a write up as well regarding Ruth, and we see that Ruth continued her life. She continued with what she was doing, she continued with her everyday life, and there was an opportunity, emphasis on opportunity that Naomi saw. Naomi saw the opportunity, and I was like, okay, this is going on. Okay, I want us to explore that for you to meet your husband.
Right.
And it's like you said, those you can't read it for deeper context. This is not like a full Bible study, but the opportunity of being redeemed. And we go on and on. The story goes on about Ruth going to approach him, going to the festival at night, all of those things. But the key point here is that opportunity that Naomi saw, and it's like, you are good, you are a great girl, you do all of these things. I've seen you grow. Explore this opportunity, which is one of the core things we do at Meet Your Husband. what many Christian ladies don't understand is that there are opportunities that you should be open and happy to explore. It's not
No.
everything. I don't know. Well, I don't know where that mentality came from, because you hear people say things like, "Oh, it's God that gives husband." Of course, it's God that gives husband. Like I was saying today in my content, I never told anybody I don't create husband. I don't create human beings. God is the one that creates his people. What I do is I help you meet him. But many people, just like other aspects of their life, in the name of it's God that gives us, but they don't leave their houses, they don't leave their room, they don't position in wisdom. I say it all the time. Women of old were even strategic. They will go to the well position, because that's where the men and women met back then. So how spiritual were you? More spiritual than them? How spiritual can you get when those women of old, they were positioning the well to know that, okay, the guys are going to come by they have a certain time of the hour of the day that will happen, where they will meet. So they were positioning spaces for those people in the Bible, in case, because I'm saying, because a lot of Christian people just think, oh, it will come. And yeah, it will come, but like, how is it going to come? Do you think it's going to come when it will come and knock on the door of your room? That's not really realistic. It's about you taking the step to follow in alignment with purpose. That is all. When I teach my method, it has to be alignment with purpose, because at the end of the day, the essence of marriage must be to further you both's purpose. You can't just marry because you want to be happy that you are married. So when you do that in alignment with purpose, then you are able to, there are opportunities you can take. If they say, if I'm doing a 14 days challenge, for instance, oh, you're not married, you desire to be married, being a part of the challenge is an opportunity. They say they are doing this, they are doing it. If a person, I know people who have met people with people just saying, hey, there's a friend of mine I want you to meet. Imagine you're like, no, 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 no. God will bring him. God will bring the husband. Like, how would they have? There's a particular couple I know, they're in Canada now. That was how they got married. The girl was like, she went to her friend's place and she's like, there's a guy I know, he's single. I think you guys should just meet for lunch. From lunch today, they're married, they have a daughter. So the girl was like, no, no, God is going to. So there are some people that perhaps, according to what they've shared, they have express instruction from God. Maybe God told them, don't worry, don't do anything. So that is understandable. And you want to be sure it's express instruction. They're not trying to, they're not trying to feel spiritual, because marriage is a spiritual process, but you're not just trying to feel spiritual or think that, yeah, this what you're doing is just extra spiritual than others, but taking opportunities as well to see, no, and the opportunity is in alignment with a good thing. Especially when you have when you have the value. It's like saying you are applying for a job, may not be the same, but it's similar, and you are applying for a job and you see an opportunity. Yes, there comes a time where the job comes to you, in terms of maybe somebody calls you, but another time where the job doesn't know that you exist and you have the opportunity to apply. So there are times where it is okay to take advantage of that opportunity, which is some of the thing that I lined up for the 14-day Valentine challenge for women. Take advantage of the opportunity, and you'll be so surprised. Do you know how many people had to poke their husband? Poke. Well, poke is to means to tap on the shoulder. So I don't mean physical poke, but I mean for the guy to even know that they were there. It wasn't so when the girl went to poke him, it's not like you're like, oh, I'm your wife. No, not that kind. But like just started a conversation, how's life with you, is everything? And the guy started to notice that, oh, okay, I've never really seen this girl at all. It's so nice to be speaking with her. So sometimes people, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, funny enough, they've met before them. Funny enough, the guy has seen, but that
Yes,
initiating the conversation is has
yes,
pushed that. So fine, please
exactly.
just meet as concerned.
Exactly, and
Mm.
especially when you're not a selfish woman, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with initiating conversation, checking up on people, being there for people. There's a person who helped met her husband by she was helping a friend at a conference, and the guy just sat next to her, and it's just what it is today. They are married. So I'm
Wow.
saying that meeting your husband, I think what I'm saying is meeting your husband comes in different ways, and you taking opportunities as well is also something you should be sensitive to, because it just may be your own way. But many times, many women don't move forward with those opportunities because they're like, oh, Anna got married this way. This is how I'm going to get married. Anna's husband appeared to her in her sleep. Then she now wrote it down with a biro. Then she woke up in the morning. And then when she stepped out, she met him. That's really great for Hannah, but that is not going to necessarily be your story. In fact, when we look through the Bible, you see that all the stories of the women were different. Yeah, some the baby it may be similar in terms of waiting for baby, all those things, but the way it manifested was different. It was never the same scenario for the same person. It was always how it was different for Daniel, it was different for Joseph, it was different for Sarah, it was different for Hannah. It was always different for the people. So let us women as well make sure that we're not comparing ourselves, and then we're being part of opportunities that the 21st century presents to us. After all, what is it going to, it's not going to harm you, and
It
you, if
doesn't. It
as long
doesn't.
as the spirit of the person is right, there's nothing wrong.
All right. So, ladies out there, opportunities don't bite. Opportunities don't bite. I think I'm going to really hashtag that after now. Opportunities don't bite. Like you've said, I think you've said a two-in-one kind of thing, and I'm trying to think from a man's perspective. The Bible says, "He who finds," all right, he who finds, he who finds. Okay, so the man is searching naturally, he's searching. He wants to get married, and the lady is into herself. She's always indoor. She doesn't volunteer for opportunities. She doesn't, go out. Then there's a likelihood of not being seen. It's just as simple as that. All right. Funny enough, going out is not necessarily going with the mindset
Mhm.
of you looking for your husband. That's another mistake. I think people, so it gets to their hearts. Okay, so I'm going out. I'm going to this birthday party. I'm going to volunteer for this opportunity. Then everything we start doing, or they start doing, is they start looking at every guy. Okay, this one looks like it. Start analyzing. So the motive has been corrupt already. All right. So
Yeah.
the best thing from your angle is to just go serve wholeheartedly. I'm very sure Ruth wasn't going there to search for Boaz. She wasn't looking for Boaz, right? So
No.
Boaz was it's going to be like an addition. Just like Jesus' words, let's seek ye first the kingdom.
Mhm.
Every other thing will be added.
Yeah.
Husband can be a jara, right? Can be a jara. It's going to be added if um, these steps are being followed. Volunteer for opportunities, and you'll be so
Yeah,
surprised
and
and
just be a selfless person. A lot of people who claim they are selfless in this generation are still selfish. So you want to clean your motives. Selfish in the sense that you want to get married for yourself. Well, me, I don't teach women or in the meet your husband married for themselves. You are not getting married for yourself to feel good, to feel like you've accomplished something. You are getting married because you're coming together with someone to build something for the kingdom, to build
yeah,
something for the nation. So that's another thing. When you stop going around thinking that the marriage is for you, is for yourself, to make yourself happy, to make your parents happy, that is also something that would give you rest. So when they say take opportunity, you take the opportunity without feeling like you are desperate. I think the guilt of desperation comes because a lot of women are going around looking for how to get married for themselves. There
for
is a
them.
personal motive? No, you can't have a personal motive for a thing that involves two people and then a family afterwards. Another thing I want to say that God would have me share in this meeting and even the next I will be in is to dispel that spirit of fear. That fear of, oh, I'm not going to get married, or the fear of just the fear of marriage and the fear of whether I'm going to get married or whether I'm good enough or I'm not good enough. And there are a whole lot of things that you should or you can start to do to make sure that you dispel that fear, like look into the word of God, following if a person says they created a program or something around helping with this or meet your husband, being a part of it, expanding your mind as well, expanding your mind. Stand up from just looking at some people's education is blogs only. Stand up from just looking at blogs, then from blogs then you go to your church fellowship and on Sunday. That's not enough in the world that we are bombarded in today. Beyond church services, you need to continue to expand yourself, even according to your needs. What is preached in church is preached in church. But apart from church, apart from the word you get there, how do you continue to fine tune what it is that, because we're all, when I say what I say to future wives, everybody is at different spaces when it comes to this married thing. So it's not, that's why I say some people will get married 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, depending, depends on what you are working on, some even 5. So when you come to me, we work with you between 1 to 3 years. That's the guarantee we give. But it's going to be different depending on, number one, the work you put in. Number two, the history. If we've got to work on it with a lot of history, you're not going to race through time. You have to take time together with the work that you put in. So I say all this to say that fear also that women are carrying around is going to lower your esteem. And in the bid of trying to look for the perfect man, it's not even that you won't find any man, because you find men, there are a lot of men. The thing is, what's the right man? But you go and end up settling for a person that is not right fit for you. I remember some years ago I said, no, every good man is not your God man. Some people were angry. It's the truth. That's why I spoke about right fit when I spoke about getting married. Every good man is not your God man. It's not your man. And if you are having this, you need to. I hope that people that watch this, if they can join the 14 days challenge, they should. Even if nothing, you can watch my YouTube videos. It will help you to expand your mind, because a person is good doesn't now mean that, oh yes, he has all the character, doesn't now mean that he's still your right husband. And you say, oh, same girl, does it not mean that?
About that. We're going to talk about that because I mentioned that
Mhm,
initially before you came in,
mhm,
that our guest has challenge. So we'll take
mhm.
our time to go through that. If possible, you
Okay,
post the link so people could just join, maybe towards the tail end. But we're
no
almost
problem.
there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, no problem. So I was talking about good man, God man. So you have to,
Yeah.
it all boils down to your purpose again. So sometimes some people marry good people and you see that they can't walk through it, they can't cope through it, marriage, because it's not, you're not designed for each other. Remember I spoke about when you said can a person get married to more than one, but not polygamy or mono. I'm talking about
Oh,
maybe if a person passes on, or a person that has been designed for that person, and you can't. But it has to be sacred. That's why marriage is an achievement. I got a video saying that today. When people say marriage is not an achievement, it's an achievement. It may not be an achievement for you that you're not married, but it's an achievement for those that are married. To choose to go through that covenant is a big deal and it's an achievement. So the good guy, because he's a good guy, doesn't mean he's the right guy for you. It may be a very good guy, but it may not be in alignment with your purpose. What if your purpose is in Nigeria and he says he wants to travel to Canada, he wants to travel to US? But is he not
mm,
a good guy? He's a good guy. He's not cheating. He's doing everything. But your assignment is not in Canada or US. What are you going to do? Will you not say no, you must marry? So those are the other things as well to put into place to understand when it comes to marriage. And I was talking about this anchors back to the dispelling the fear. So and making sure that you are overcoming that, and I can help with that in a clarity session to help you understand why you're just carrying this fear and burden and guilt, so that we can walk through that and you can get your healing, because we need healed women and men trying to meet each other, not people who are going through challenges or
that's
baggages
very,
that they've not
very,
worked on.
thank you so much. And that still boils down to the fact that we need to discover ourselves. So we need wholeness. Okay, so it's a scenario of somebody whole getting married to somebody whole, all right, not somebody trying to be whole with the other person
Person,
you're
yes,
gonna meet.
yes.
Yeah, so that's important. Who we are personally is
Mm,
important in getting and it's also interesting to know that you're going to walk people who sign up for the program through that session, which you call clarity session. And so
yes.
please, perhaps you're watching, maybe we should just take this time to talk about it anyway. I actually have a question here to go, and perhaps you're watching and you have a question. You're very free to drop your questions while she's here. She's going to answer them. All right. I have a question here from a lady's perspective
Okay.
still. Say, what are the signs that a man is right for me? What are the signs that a man is right for me? Now, the question sounds a bit answered, but I don't know. Perhaps you still have one or two things to say about that. What are the signs that a man is right for me?
Okay, so because that is a lot to unpack. I will first of all say, well, is there on YouTube or my YouTube channel, Sage Nail TV? I've answered that
Sage
question. Maybe
Nail
Sage
TV,
Nail
right?
TV, yes,
Okay, can what just type
Sagenel.
it? Okay, let's just have it
Type
on.
it. Okay.
All right,
Oh,
let me try it.
okay. Oh, okay. You want to type it? All right. Thank you. So Sage Nail TV. That will help sitting down with those resources, and I needed to start with that so that it's not, I personally, I don't like to just answer questions just briefly, but there's no how we want to get into it that we'll finish today with the time that we have. So our advice for all those right fits, the right partner, how do I know, please just sit with those videos. Is very
That's
important.
right.
So
Mm.
but if I'm to speak on it, just the foundation, then the other videos continue to speak about that. I would
It will
say
grow, right?
you have to know your purpose first, which is what you, when you said it has been a bit answered, you have to know your purpose first. This one is inevitable. And there are some people, because I speak to women, I understand that some women think they know their purpose when they don't know their purpose. I think that's even the worst. For you to be going around in, how do I say, for you to be going around in in denial, in ignorance, when you think you know something but you don't know it. So there are some people there, when you know your purpose, you will know how and where you fit and who fits you. I think that's the summary. Where you fit and who fits you. Some people can get married. Just some people, I don't start calling professions, because I'm beginning to help women understand that the person of their husband is not necessarily their professions, but who it is that you end up with, or who it is that you should work with, would be determined by the kind of work you have to do on earth. Because let's remember that Joseph, that this marriage thing is a purpose. God is an intentional God. Before He created marriage, He created purpose. That's why we can have people fulfill their purpose without getting married. It's not do or
Right.
die. Yes, it's not do or die. You can fulfill your purpose without getting married. So let's just know that this married thing that I talk to, when I talk to women a lot, I say, if you've been called, you know you've been called, you have a desire for marriage. It's not a general, I understand it's not all the women in the world that are supposed to be a part of Meet Your Husband movement, or be a part of the people who consume the resources. So that is important. So knowing that would help you know who is right for me, where should I be. And even in that, knowing that, Joseph, I will still, if the person still is not clear, I will still advise a one-on-one session, so that we not give generic advices that is not useful for anyone, so that we can be able to talk about what can you interpret by your purpose. You know, you can have a purpose and you can misinterpret it. I say that because there are some people's purposes who is very, the purpose has a lot to do with maybe religion, and automatically the first thing they are thinking is, oh, I'm supposed to get married to a pastor. It may not necessarily, it may not always be that, which is why I said, get at least get into a session with me, we can help you understand, and not necessarily.
Mm.
And that's
That's
a
true.
good place for Salah, because that's method, and because people, you know, we interpret things by what we have experienced. These are the deeds, these are
Right.
these places assignments, these are okay, me too, I will not be this way. But the more you expand, the more you understand that there are many, look at Joyce Mia, there are many women in ministry. Joyce Mia did not go look. Imagine she, like, God has called me to ministry. Yeah, so I'm looking for stuff. I don't know what she should have been doing.
Right.
But good for Joyce May. I think she even found her husband before she found her. Not a pastor. They don't call him Pastor Dave. Maybe they do, but
Mm.
he's not a pastor in any form or form. He's an admin. He helps with the ministry, but Joyce Meyer is the pastor.
In fact, we
So
wouldn't
many
have
times,
heard about Dave if not that Joyce Meyer, somehow acknowledges him most times. He's just at the background, kind of. But why just forward? Many of us, I tend to see. So she just don't be silent about Dave, but Dave is just at the background. I'm doing well, not intimidated.
exactly, good. And that's a good example. In one of our top tier courses, we use them as a case study, because So many people would have misinterpreted and said, do you know, because I follow Jasmine a lot and I've read this, a lot of her books I've read. There were times when they were trying to make Dave the pastor now. Before we knew them now, they told Jasmine to keep quiet. Women are not supposed to preach in the church. So what they did was that they kept her quiet and they were trying to make Dave the pastor. It wasn't working. It wasn't, like they were misaligned. Long story short, they had to get back to the original design in their own marriage was that Joyce was supposed to be the
Marriage.
pastor. Oh,
Wow.
but Joyce was supposed to be the pastor, and Dave was supposed to support and be the
Support.
administrator
Wow.
and do whatever it is. So that takes us to another dimension of the word,
Right.
with the word help.
Entirely.
The word help in the Bible, when we see the helpmates in the book of Genesis, it means different things to different people in
Different things,
different
right?
marriages. Okay, I thought you didn't hear me. So
So
when people say help me,
no.
help,
From I'm really following. Sorry, from this angle of Dave and Joyce we just
yes,
mentioned. Okay, do you believe you agree that help, because I'm just trying to see it in that light. All right, help here naturally or nominally, what we think help meet is somebody at the background. All right, so I'm helping you and I have to be at the background. So
thank
what
you,
if the help is the person at the forefront?
thank you.
Is that
Exactly.
still a form of help? Exactly.
Yes, it is. Because at the end of the day, just may I say help me to Dave Mayer.
Right.
She
Right.
the family, they chose to have children biologically. She had children biologically. She did her family duties, of course, and a lot of other background things we don't know about that. And he continued to further his purpose. So it's not, Dave is not suffering. It's not like, oh, he's at the background suffering. No, he's just
Right.
probably a background man, but it doesn't mean he's suffering. He continues with his own purpose, and Joyce Meyer is doing purpose, and they are working together, and she's his helpmate.
Together.
But like I said, I started this by narrating, we're still on this question, how do you know it's the right man for me?
Right. Yeah.
Interpretation can hinder what it is that we think or who we think should be the right man for us. So you see that
Okay.
these are the yeah, in your church, these are the mommy chio, that these are everybody has done it. You too, and I think that is how it is for you. So knowing the right one for you is I mean, we can talk about this generally, which is what I've tried to do now, but it speaks a lot. Marriage is very specific. In
It's
fact, the more
right.
I go, the
It
more I
really
understand.
is.
It's very
Right.
specific. You may look at someone else and say, look at how they are helping. This how they are helping over there. Me too. I want to be a help. You can't be a helpmate in
But it's
the
a
regard
different
that has not been
thing.
designed for your
Yeah.
marriage. So
Yeah.
it's
It's a
just what it
different
is.
game.
And a woman who is ready to know, that's a good and rich question. I hope that the person takes out time to go through those videos and to understand. And if she needs any of course, book a session. But the video is even a good starting point to help her understand better.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I know this is going to really bless everybody watching out there. This is so loaded. The time is really so short, but I think there's so much to grasp. If not that guest is having another program by 5, something of this nature, um, it's something we're going to really prolong. But because of our time, we will be coming to the end of this broadcast, and I'm really hoping we still have more time to do this maybe some other time, even if not now. All right. Before we sign out, I really want us to talk about the 14-day challenge. All right. So there's a 14-day challenge going on for, and perhaps you are a man watching this and you feel you have ladies around you. All right. You've spoken with some of them and they've been disappointed, they've been heartbroken and all that, and there is confusion all around them. So this is a very good session for them to be a part of. I'm very sure going through this process will be worth it for them. Interestingly, it's almost like a free package, right? All right,
Literally.
it's just 8,000 naira to sign up,
Yeah.
8,000 naira, 1K. So you can sign up for as many as you want, your sisters, if possible, because it's going to be worth it, I believe, based on even what we've had now. All right, so, and perhaps there are more questions. You can feel free to drop them. I'm going to get the question through to our guests. Yes, for more clarity, because I think she needs to relax now and prepare for the next session. Okay, so can we have a final note from you? Yes, before we sign
So
off.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about the 14 days challenge. And if you've got any other, even if it's a last question, I can take a last question before I go. It's not a
Can you
problem.
speak? Your voice is
Can you
low
hear me?
now. Your voice is low now. Yeah, it's
Oh,
now
okay.
low. I don't know why it's sounding low.
That's very strange. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear
That,
you. I can
oh,
hear you.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
All right.
let me. I was saying that if you've got any other last question, I can take it as I sign out, not a problem at all. But I believe if, in fact, what we've even shared here is powerful a lot. It's powerful enough. You know, in our Nigerian climate, a lot of times many people think the more the better. But sometimes with what you
Mm,
have, you can even do miraculous things. The problem is, do you value what you have? Do you value
yeah.
what you have? That's the question.
Well,
So regarding the 14 days challenge, I came up with the 14 days challenge and in partnership with God, the strategies from God to help women double their chances. I hope you can hear me because it's the same
Yeah,
way I've
clear,
been talking. Okay. Double their
clear.
chances of
Can you hear me?
meeting their.
Am I
Yes, I
clear
can
too?
hear you. I can hear you. Okay, so double their chances of meeting their husband. And how do I mean? I mean in terms of helping prompts and helping you with nudges and helping you with strategies and of course giving you insight on what to do for those 14 days. The 14 days, the date, of course, is exclusive to the community, those that have signed on.
Yeah.
It will be a good one. We made it, I wanted to make it free, but we made it have an access fee because I only wanted serious-minded people there, people who were going to, because if you step in free, you may just think it's something that you are doing us a favor. We need you to do the challenges. We don't need you to hang around the group and be happy. No, we need you to put it in because only when you put it into action that you're going to see results. So it's a great one, very affordable, really little to nothing, but it's our access point to make only serious-minded people get it. Because if you commit to, even if it's to send 1,000 from your phone, you know that okay, I've sent 1,000 out for something. Let me even pay attention to what it is they are doing,
Yeah.
rather than just some people go around joining WhatsApp group left, right, and center. They are not doing anything.
That's
There, we don't want those kind of people.
true.
Then on the, oh yes, you said final was, so I'm sure, I think I gave, well, you can reach out to Joseph. He will just give you my number if you want to sign up. I think
Thank
even after
you.
watching this, because it's a Valentine's Day 14 day challenge, we're going to the replay of the challenge we put together and will be available beyond Valentine's Day. So if you're still watching it, you can still reach out to Joseph to purchase that whenever it is you see this. As per final words, like you asked, I would just say that the world we were born into, it doesn't exist any longer. The kind of ways, the method, things, the way even people, the way people met their husband, things are changing.
Right.
And so understanding the times is the reason why God raises even coaches and teachers. People need to understand this. I know that some people have been hurt by coaches, gurus who claim they can do something but they don't do it. Sorry, but you need to come to the realization that because they can only be fake because they are
Right.
originals. So interpreting those times and seasons is why teachers like me has been raised to help you interpret those times and seasons so that you will know how to navigate it. I know that it seems as though it's becoming increasingly difficult for young people to get married, and it's for a number of reasons, a number of very selfish reasons, a number of for fear, and some how to, they don't even know the how to strategies, all of those things. They don't have it for working things through in the 21st century. People are still waiting for maybe some sort of physical only kind of meeting, and it
Yeah.
works. Physical only kind of meeting
Maybe
works, but
one
you may not meet
online
your husband that
platform.
way.
Yeah.
Exactly. You may not meet your husband that way. So you must be open, but you, of course, be guided by working with those with the right spirit. That's why you should look at people's content. Like Joseph and I looked at my content first before inviting me. See the
Mm-hmm.
spirit in which they used to operate. to grow financially, it wasn't difficult now. Do open a business, start a business, you make money. You make money. You buy your donkey for 2 naira, you sell it for 5 naira, you make your 3 naira income, your profits, you save it. Before you know, you become a rich man or a rich woman. But as we step into the 21st century, things are not like that anymore. You have to learn about NFTs, ETFs, crypto, all those things. Exactly, it's the world we are living in now. To get to a certain level financially, you've got to learn those concepts. I'm saying this to those who, because a lot of people who say things like, if I just read the Bible, of course, the Bible is our foundation. You should read the Bible, but you should also understand that there are teachers and coaches and counselors that interpret the times, that have been called in different niches to interpret the times and to help you with the right interpretation. So just the way your
And that,
finance, you're gonna-
okay. And
okay.
sorry, and that is not to say, yeah, that is not to say the truth has been
No,
changed or it has
no,
been
no,
moved.
no, 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 no. It's at all. It has not been changed. Just that
Attention.
the way money is man-made now. This money that
Yes.
everybody is pursuing is man-made. God
Yes.
never preached money. Jesus never preached money. Money is a man-made. It was a man-made idea. The truth of money, which sometimes people don't want to hear, is value. Is having value exchange. So the principle of the truth, which is why I said know who you are working with, make sure the person has the right spirit. The principle of the truth is still in alignment, but the times have changed.
Right.
When in the book of Genesis, they were not using dollars and pounds. But as time goes, you have to understand, oh, inflation, deflation. You need to understand the times and the world you live in and how things are navigating, how people are operating, and so that you would be able to now position in wisdom to meet your husband and to be found by him.
Awesome.
That will
Awesome.
be my closing word.
Awesome. This is awesome. What is amazing for me is how generally applicable these words are. Your words are, I don't know if it's intentional from your part. You're speaking them, but they are spreading all around. For me, I've been blessed because they are not just they are not unidirectional for me, and I
Mm,
believe for everybody listening, it's just life principle we are talking about here. Life principle, which we are really channeling towards meeting your husband. All right.
yes.
So please, this is what listening to. Share, and just be blessed. Thank you so much, Nkechi, for your time.
Yes. Thank you.
This means a lot to us. Thank you so much for being a blessing. All right. So we keep spreading
Yes.
the word,
Okay.
and I hope to also be I hope to be a part of your next session by 5 p.m. today.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think
On
it's gonna be
Instagram.
yeah,
No problem.
it's gonna be awesome.
No
So thank
problem
you so
at
much for
all.
the time again.
Okay.
Thank you. Do have
All right.
a nice evening.
Yes.
Have a nice session.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.